What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Fit Women's Weekly podcast. I hope that it's okay, but I want to change things up a little bit. Dana and I were actually talking about this last week, and I was like, you know what? I miss doing what we're getting ready to do. When I first created this podcast, it was strictly a place that I could sit down and share things about my life and what was going on and the experiences that I was having with my own fitness, with my own mental health, with my nutrition, and the same thing with my clients around me. I would share their experiences here on the show. I oftentimes didn't sit down with any notes of any sort. Sometimes I would just put on my headphones, I'd go for a walk, and we would do walk and talks. And I really feel like I got to connect with a lot of my podcast listeners when I was doing that. And I think that a lot of you guys miss those types of podcasts too. I feel like now everything has an agenda where it has to be the 5 tips to do this. You're like finding one question and you're answering it. And I just miss the days when it was just humans sitting down together and connecting. So today I don't know if I've ever done this since I've been on YouTube. It was really when I started putting my podcast on YouTube that I felt like if I'm going to film a video, then I need to make sure that it's short, it's concise, it has one problem, and then that would become the episode that I would post up on all the different platforms as well. But today we're going to change it up and we're going to have the old style Fit Women's Weekly podcast where it's just you, me, catching up on life, chit-chatting, and having some girl time together. I've got my big old water cup, which I love this cup, you guys. For those of you guys that can't see it, it's the size of like a Stanley. It is not a Stanley. It is an LO cup. I think it's 32 ounces. No, it's 30 ounces, and it has blueberries, and it just makes my heart happy. So that's the first thing. But we are going to talk about products that I have found. I'll explain them for if you're listening to this versus watching it, but then I'll also make sure to link everything down in the show notes. So if it's something that you're interested in, you can check it out. I want to share some things that are just going on in my life. I want to share some stuff that's going on in Fit Women's Weekly. And then I'm also going to give us a mindset chat because I don't want to also go away from giving you some sort of nugget that you can take with you to improve your life in some way, whether it's your mental side of things, whether it's your fitness or your nutrition. That's always been the goal of this podcast, is where you can at least take one nugget and help yourself in some way. So sit back and let's just freaking have some girl time. Let's first talk about this week started off our summer shred challenge. So every summer I do an 8-week challenge. I used to do it through our studio, and now I do it through Fit Women's Weekly Live since we don't have the physical studio anymore. And it's been great. I love how motivated people are when they first come into it. The connections and the camaraderie and the support that comes at the start, it's just so high right now. But now we all know that motivation is fleeting and that doesn't keep you going for the long run, that after a while you just have to rely on the fact of you need to get things done, right? You can't always just go off of the motivation. So when everybody jumps in so high off of just the start of something, now I see it as my job to try to keep that excitement going as long as I possibly can, and to really help everybody that is going through the 8-week challenge to create a habit to show up each day to accomplish what it is that they want to accomplish, and to remind people that you're going to have days that you don't want to work out. There are going to be days that life gets in the way that you can't work out. But my reminder to my clients that are doing the challenge is that even if you accomplish 6 awesome weeks out of the 8 and you do crappy for 2 weeks, that's still 6 weeks that you've pushed yourself harder than you probably wouldn't otherwise, right? You're still focused on training versus just walking through the motions of your fitness. And yeah, so the job gets hard now. It's easy to get started. It's hard to keep going. And I put so much pressure on myself to make me the person that gets them through the hard times. The first 4 weeks, easy peasy. Second 4 weeks, that's when I got to come and bring my A game as not only a personal trainer, but as that motivator and as that coach to really push through those hard times to get you to the finish line. With that, with the assessment or with the summer shred, we always do an assessment workout. And every year I've always created a brand new workout. But then it hit me, like at the core of it, people like simple. And I am somebody who, yes, I changed my program up a lot, but I do believe that it's really important to come back to old workouts so that you can see how you can progress, right? If you're not working on a progressive overload training plan where every workout you are trying to get heavier or trying to do more reps, that's not my style of training. My style of training is more of like, we're going to train really hard to improve our overall fitness. And we're going to test that overall fitness we're going to do a workout at the beginning, and then we're going to do it at the end, so that you are still pushing yourself and building results, but you just don't necessarily see it from one workout to the next. So I've always created new assessment workouts, but with that in mind, I said, you know what? Why don't I start redoing past assessment workouts? Because then you can not only assess where you are from workout number 1 at week 1 to how you do that final workout at week 8. But now we're able to go back to the archives from last year and say, how did you do with this workout last year? How has your fitness improved just in that 12-month period? And that's been really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and actually share that assessment workout with you. If you are interested in doing it, give it a shot. I'd love to hear what your scores are. And I will say that I'm pretty proud of myself. I actually am starting off this challenge already very improved from what I did last year, which is pretty cool to see. So we do 2 assessment workouts. We do a body weight, more cardiovascular style, and then we do a heavy dumbbell strength assessment workout that we do the following day. So we actually did the strength assessment today, and we did the cardio yesterday. The workout I'm going to share with you right now is the more cardiovascular body weight workout. So part number 1 was 60 minutes of exercise, 20 seconds of rest for 3 rounds. But for tracking purposes, for the actual assessment, you only have to track how you did on the final round. So I kind of trained it as the first round through is you're just learning the exercises, you're warming up your body. Second round through is you now know the exercises, you feel comfortable doing them, you're going to push the pace. That's your practice round. And then that third round through is when you're going to give it everything that you got, because those are the reps that you're going to write down and track that you're going to try to beat when you do this again in 8 weeks through that third round again. So the exercises were step-ups on at least an 18-inch box or bench or chair, dead man inchworms, which simply means walking out to a plank position, laying all the way down on the ground before you push back up to a plank and you walk back in, both hands touching your toes. That's 1 rep. So you would do as many as you can in that 60 seconds. Reverse bodyweight lunges, and then the final move was an AMRAP of 10 mountain climbers and 10 plank shoulder taps. So you would do 10 mountain climbers, 10 plank shoulder taps, 10 mountain climbers, 10 plank shoulder taps for 60 seconds, and you are trying to see how many total reps you can accomplish in that time. So for me personally, I went up on steps, I went up on dead man push-ups, or the inchworms. My lunges actually stayed the same, which I thought was interesting. And then the mountain climbers, I increased by over 50 reps. So that's pretty cool. So that was part 1. You would think that that's tough enough, right? No. From there, we're going to rest about 3 minutes. I want you to bring your heart rate down a little bit. Try to get close to recovery zone. And you're going to set your timer for 19 minutes. Okay, so this one has a 19-minute time cap. All in all, this particular workout did take about 40 minutes to accomplish. So in 19 minutes, first you had to get through the buy-in. And you might go, oh my God, Kendall, that is so hard for your first workout. But again, remember, I'm expecting most people to not do that great this first time through so that we can train and work really hard and see those improvements at the end. And this kind of workout helps you really see the improvements that you've made to your fitness. So 19 minutes, you have a buy-in of 100 step-ups on that same at least 18 inches, 50 dead man inchworms, 100 reverse lunges, and then 10 rounds of the 10 mountain climbers, 10 shoulder taps. So 10 mountain climbers, 10 shoulder taps, that's 1 round, and you would complete that for 10 minutes. That's just the buy-in. From there, whatever is then left of the time of your 19 minutes, you go into an AMRAP of 10 squats, 20 pike push-ups, 30 skiers, and 40. I did that yesterday too. 40 flutter kicks, and you're going to do that as many times as you can until the alarm goes off. The 19 minutes is up. And that's what you're tracking, is how many total reps you get through of that AMRAP. That's what you're going to write down, and that's what you're going to try to beat the next time that you do the assessment workout. Yeah, it was tough. Not everybody even made it through the buy-in, and that's okay. You're going to make a note of how far you did get, and obviously you're going to try to beat that score and get in to that final AMRAP when we repeat it. So it was tough. The very first time I did this workout for last year's summer shred, I got through 200 reps of that AMRAP, which means 2 total rounds. Yesterday, y'all, I got 300. I made it through 3 full rounds when last year I only made it through 2 full rounds. That is so cool. I feel like I'm coming in here already with so much fitness that I've been working on the past year, and it just makes me even more excited to see where I can go. Which now takes me to the next thing that I personally wanted to share with you guys as far as my fitness is concerned is my running. You guys know I love strength training. I love kettlebells. I love dumbbells. I love barbells. But a part of me will always love running a lot. That was my gateway into fitness, and that's something that I do for myself. All of these workouts that I share with you guys, while I love it and obviously it's great for my body and my mental state, I'm still doing it for other people. I'm writing these for clients. I'm doing it for Fit Women's Weekly Live. Whereas running, I've always said, is something very personal. Nobody cares how far I run. Nobody cares at what speed I run. Nobody's out there running with me. That is something that I do 100% selfishly for my own fitness, for my own mental mindset. And with that, the past several years, I've really only just focused on getting out and running, just being outside with nature. But this past, I would say, month and a half, I've been focusing a little bit more on trying to increase my speed and working on pace and my actual fitness a little bit more with my running. And I have seen some crazy results. For just to like put this into numbers, y'all, for the past year, because I track all of my long runs, especially on my watch. And before this, it was through my Fitbit. I was covering about a 9, like by the time my long runs were done, my average pace was a little bit over 9-minute miles, probably like 9 minutes, 5 seconds around there. So lately I've been ending my shorter runs with some speed work, because the only way to get faster isn't just to keep running. If your legs are always so used to going one pace, you're not suddenly going to get faster. The only way to get faster is to start teaching your legs what it feels like to have a faster turnover, aka adding some speed work at the end of your runs or doing a specific speed work workout. So I've been doing that, and just in the past 1 month, I have gone from having that a little bit over a 9-minute pace for runs that are over 9 to 10 miles. And I am now running at around an 8:45 average pace. That's 20 seconds off. What? So that feels really, really good. I think part of it is a lot, like people are like, well, how are you doing this? One is because I'm actually, like I said, focused on increasing my speed. I'm teaching my legs what it feels like to move a little bit quicker than what they're used to. But I think the biggest impact, honestly, is I've been able to decrease the volume that I've been exercising. I don't know if I've shared it. I think I shared it in my podcast. At the start of the month, I stopped training my last in-person training group. And with that group, I was working out with them. So on top of doing Fit Women's Weekly Live workouts where I film twice a day, I was also training with them 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so when I dropped that, now in the mornings, I just go for a walk. I still utilize that time, but just for walking. So I walk now Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I don't do it because I'm trying to get certain steps or because I'm trying to do it as exercise. To be honest, I do it for my marriage and for myself. I think that everybody deserves to have just some personal quiet time to set reflections for the day, and just there's just something about whether it's going for a walk or having your coffee that's by yourself is really important. And so because Dan and I do so much together, we both have made it a habit that we enjoy our mornings solo. And he's not used to me being home in the morning. So I wake up, I go for my walk. While I'm doing that, he's here. He's getting himself set for the day. He has his whole morning ritual that's just his and that's personal to him. So it works for both of us. But not having those intense workouts Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I think has helped my body with inflammation. It's helped with recovery. It has helped with my speed so that when I do work out, I'm better recovered and I'm able to perform a lot better. Now, that's only one way I've decreased my exercise. Actually, I've decreased my exercise total volume by over about 70% right now. I also made the decision, instead of filming 2 full workouts every day for Fit Women's Weekly Live, I've personally gone to just filming 1 60-minute workout per day and then giving tips on, if you don't have 60 minutes, here's how to make it shorter, versus what I was doing before where I would film a full 60-minute workout. And these workouts aren't easy. Like, they're the workouts that I was just explaining for the assessment workout. That's a typical workout for our body weight workout, which is on Monday. And then I would do another shorter version that was the same thing, just shorter, maybe cut reps or cut rounds again in the afternoon. So obviously that's really hard on the body. And as I get older, I am doing a lot better listening to my body. And so that was a decision that Dan and I sat down and said was best for not only me, but for our business as well. I'm now able to spend a little bit more time focusing on growing my business versus running the business from that aspect. While I am a personal trainer, at the end of the day, I'm a business owner, and I couldn't be a business owner if I'm always training. And I calculated out that it was about 4 hours a day between driving to where we film our workouts and coming home and going back. It just wasn't efficient. So it was hard at first to make that change, because you guys, if you've been around for a long time, know that I do have exercise anxiety. I am an exercise addict. I am not going to deny that. So at first, cutting all of this volume down made me really nervous. But overall, I feel so much better, and I'm really proud of myself. So it's reflecting in the workouts that I do. They have more intention. I have, like I said, more energy, and I'm getting better results. And that feels really freaking cool. It feels cool to be able, I'm finally able to follow the advice that I give to clients. I've said for years, no one should be working out the amount that I do, but that's my job. And that's what I was stuck doing. And it took my husband finally looking at me and going like, no, you don't have to do this. This is a decision that, yes, we made it together, but now it's time for us to reflect on that decision and maybe change it up. So yeah, that's kind of the big stuff that's been going on in our life. With my own personal fitness. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to really share with you guys. I'm not specifically training for anything specific versus instead of like the summer shred. I am right now in a maintenance mode. I came out of my deficit. By the time the deficit was done, I dropped about 10 pounds of weight, and I lost about 3% of body fat, and I feel fantastic. I still have energy. Obviously now, like I said, I'm in maintenance mode, so I have increased my calories, but at no point did I feel like I was under recovered, under fueled. I wasn't having any issues sleeping. I wasn't having any mood swings. Some of the typical symptoms that I may have had in my past from under fueling so much, but I made sure to fuel properly. Again, following the advice that I would give to any of my clients is the advice that I actually followed for myself. And this was the first deficit that I'd been in years and years and years. So it felt really good, and I feel fantastic. So overall, things are going well. Now, with all of that said of my personal mindset journey and my fitness journey, I do want to share something with you so that maybe you can take this with you depending on where you are right now with your own personal fitness. So this is a story of hanging out with my sister-in-law the other day. My sister-in-law, I love her. She's actually one of my best friends, and we were hanging out at her apartment, and we were talking about a family wedding we have coming up. And she's like, you know what do you think about the 3-12-30? I don't remember if that's the way the numbers are ordered, but those are the numbers. And basically it's the idea of 3 miles per hour on a 12% incline for 30 minutes on a treadmill. And of course, this is Dan's sister. So him being a typical male, we gotta love him, but men sometimes aren't great at just listening or being supportive. They want to give a better solution or whatever, how it is. And so he went off and was like, well, you could do that, or you could actually do something that's a little bit more effective and knock out, 30 minutes of squats, push-ups, and lunges and do it in order. And I could just see in her face, like that wasn't where she is. She hasn't worked out in years. She doesn't have the confidence right now to even go into that gym space, much less go into that gym space and pick up some dumbbells and start doing those kind of exercises. But I didn't feel like arguing. So later the next morning, I texted her and I said, you know what, I've really been thinking about you, and I'm going to give you the advice that I would give to a stranger off the street that was starting to talk to me about their fitness journey. Because when people find out you're a personal trainer, they will say, oh my God, I need to exercise. I'm thinking about doing this, this, and this. And the advice that I gave her was, if this is your gateway to get into your gym, I don't care if you put the treadmill on an incline at all. Just go into that gym and set your iPad up and watch your favorite TV show for 15 or 30 minutes. Let that just be your invitation to get in there and feel more comfortable in the space, and then keep doing that consistently multiple times a week. And then as you build confidence, which you will just from going in there to begin with, then maybe you'll finish your walk and go, you know what, I have 10 more minutes. Let me try this piece of fitness equipment out. Like you guys know, I'm not huge on using the exercise machines, But again, if you are brand new and you're just trying to build up the confidence to do a workout altogether, then that's kind of that general flow. You're going to start with a treadmill or some sort of cardio that you know you can do, that you don't feel silly. There's no hesitation to figuring it out. Then you're most likely going to go into the machines. Like, hey, let me try this leg extension machine or the leg curl machine. And then from there, as you get more confident, then you might look at the dumbbells and go, you know what, maybe today I'm going to knock out a couple of sets of squats before I go back up to the gym. Use that as a starter point. I just want everyone to remember, like, you don't have to start at a particular place. That building fitness isn't a sprint. It is something that you're trying to build for the long run. So if that means just introducing yourself and getting outside and going for a 20-minute walk, while that 20-minute walk might not be the most efficient workout that you can have, if you're not going to work out at all, then it's one hell of an efficient workout, right? And over time, you're going to build up the confidence, and that's going to be your gateway into other forms of fitness so that you can finally really start to have these body-changing workouts that are driving. Now, that's not to say your body won't change, because if you're moving more than you have been and burning more calories, you are going to lose weight just from going from those walks, because that's more than what you've been doing. So I just want to stress that not everybody needs to start with a program, and just do what makes you happy. At the end of the day, doing something that's more than what you're currently doing is a plus. Start there. You could always build off of it. I just felt that was a really important conversation that I had with her. So I wanted to share that with you guys. She texted me straight back and said, thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you for getting me. And I was like, girl, I always got your back, and I always got y'all's back. So if you have any questions, always feel free to ask. So this is going into an old school podcast for sure. They're getting longer. All right. I do have my book. So I had my books that I had written the workouts in. That's my new one. This was the one from when we did it last year. So let me clear that space. Now, I thought that it would be fun to share some, I did want to say the last thing that I've wanted to share before I go into some of my favorites is a new hobby. So I think that this has helped with my fitness too, is Dan and I have gotten into rollerblading. When's the last time you guys put roller skates on or rollerblades? What happened was Dan and I had a big heart-to-heart about a month and a half ago, where I just really told him some things that were on my mind. And, we live in this life, which I hope not everybody does, but I think a lot of us do, where it's like, when this happens, then we can do this. When this happens, then we'll be able to do X, Y, Z and have more free time. And I just had a mental breakdown, to be honest, and was crying to him. And I was like, I am tired of living that life, because we're not living life. We're living for what we hope we'll be able to get to one day. But when you're always just chasing, like hoping that you're going to get there and it doesn't happen, it's like, what are we doing now? Right? So we had been talking about a couple of different hobbies that we would be interested in. And one of them had been rollerblading. And over the past couple of months, I've really gotten into watching hockey. I know that's so weird for me. So he bit the bullet and surprised me by getting both of us new pairs of rollerblades. Now, my husband was a hockey player in high school, so he's really good. And I am not an inline skater, but I have not rollerbladed since I was probably 12 or 13 years old. But it has become the most fun experience, not only because it's such just like a fun physical way to use our fitness. And I'm a big fan of living your fitness, but it's so fun after dinner time, instead of just going for like a little walk around our neighborhood, which I do still do when we're not skating. We set an alarm for just 20 minutes. We go put our skates on and we just skate around together. It's a fun activity for us to do together, because again, just like we're always waiting for the next thing to happen, life is so busy that, sometimes you're living under the same roof, but you've got, you're working on all these different projects that, aside from the weekend, you're not really connecting together. So for us, skating has been an opportunity for us to like have some fun together. We feel like we're dating when we're out there, and he's teaching me his skills or teaching me drills, and he's practicing things. It's the freaking best. Have I fallen? Yes, I have. Has he fallen? Yes, he has. But, it's all part of it, and we're hoping to be able to get into some inline skating hockey eventually. He's pretty close to it. My confidence is not there yet. But I recently saw a meme that said, if you do the things that you did when you were 13 and 14, you'd be much happier in terms of the hobbies that you choose. And that is so right. It makes me so happy. I mean, there are days, just like with anything, where I'm like, oh, I don't want to put my skates on, when he'll say like, hey, let's go for a quick skate. But I do it, and then I'm out there and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like free moving right down the street. The wind is in my hair and I feel my legs moving beneath me. It's just pretty cool. And it's a way for us to see our owls too that come out at dusk. But that's a whole nother story. I've shared that over on the Instagram channel, so make sure to go follow over there. All right, and now the last thing, I promise, because I know that we've been chit-chatting and just catching up. Again, I have missed these talks. Let me know if you guys like this, if you're like, no, I like it when you're like, hey, give me 5 ways to burn body fat. I can go back. We will still do those, but I want to do these from time to time too. Let's go over some of my favorites. I will make sure to share the brands, but obviously if you're watching this, then I'll be able to hold it up. First off, like I said, my water bottle. It's the Ello water bottle. It's a lot cheaper. I think this guy was like $18. It's a light blue, almost like a purple color, like a periwinkle. And it has blueberries all over it, and it just makes me so happy. They also had one that was yellow with lemons all over it, but I figured the blue one was... I figured the yellow one, I just get tired. That one's timeless for me. Some other little things. I've got some food and I've got some skincare. My other sister-in-law for my birthday went to World Market and got me, it's called Glow Body Oil, shimmering body oil. I love a good glitter. I love a good sparkle on my skin, and I am obsessed with this stuff. And I hate the word obsessed. I think that is so overused, but I really do. I put this on every morning when I'm getting ready. It just gives a nice little shine. It's almost like putting suntan oil on, but I don't know, it makes my skin feel really nice and hydrated, and it just makes me feel a little bit more put together for the day, since I'm going to go work out shortly after. But the brand is called Glow. This one is a Midnight Walk, and it's actually my second bottle because I liked it so much. When I ran out, I immediately went to World Market and got it again. I unfortunately won't be able to link this one up because I've already tried to find it on Amazon, and they don't carry it on Amazon. The only place I could actually find it was going into World Market. So if you have a World Market, go check it out. From there, my favorite body lotion, which I put this on at least 2 times a day. It smells so good. It feels so good. It's actually a body whipped oil butter. Can you guys tell I'm in my like oil phase? And it's is it EOS? EOS? Is that how do you say? Oh, Evolution of Smooth is the brand. But you've seen this. It's at like most stores, and I can link this one up. It is their cashmere whipped butter oil and vanilla cashmere. I mean, my container is empty. And this is my second one. I go through this in probably a month, which sounds so weird, but I put it on my feet before I go to bed. It feels great. I don't know if anybody else has that issue of like dried heels, where sometimes like I'll wake up in the night during the night because my feet are dry. But if I put this on before I go to bed, it's not an issue. And then I put this all over my body every time I get out of the shower and in the morning before I put on the glitter body oil, shimmer body oil. The other thing that I have found is by e.l.f. Skincare, and this is their Whoa Glow. It's 30 SPF 30 sunscreen, but it also has a tint. So I use it as during the summer right now. It is a tinted sunscreen, and it's a dupe of the Super Goop Glow, which I love the Super Goop Glow, but it's expensive. And this one I can get at CVS or on the Amazon for, I think it was like $7 or something like that. And I actually have it in their lighter color and their darker color. During the spring, I was using a mix. Like I would blend a little bit of the lighter with a little bit of the darker. And now this is the Sun Touchable. And now that it is full summertime, I've been outside a little bit more. Oh, this particular color is Sunburst. I just use this as my base. Like I'll wash my face in the morning and then I put this immediately on, and then my blush and stuff. I really don't put much concealer or anything on during the summertime, but I love this. It gives you like a nice glowy look, but gives just enough tint where it evens out the skin tone a little bit. Plus you're getting your SPF. So big fan. See any other skin tone things? I don't think so. And then the last are just, oh my God, y'all. Okay. So I have to share this. This is, no, you cannot have this. I was not expecting this. And please tell me, I need your advice, okay? So my mom has a black and white composition book. You guys remember those from back in the day, where she would write like family recipes down? And I've been asking her for this book for a couple of months now because there's some family recipes that I want to get. And I was over there for Father's Day this past week, and I said, oh my God, Mom, can I get that recipe book from you. I promise I'll take care of it. I just want to go through it, get a couple of the recipes out, maybe try to preserve some of them so we can pass them down. And she didn't bring me back that one. She brought me back something. This is probably my most prized possession. Like I might start crying just sharing this with you guys. This book was my grandmother's, and it is falling apart. It is a cloth book. It has my mom's name written all over it from when she was a kid and would just write in it. Also, when my mom was a kid back in the 60s, like stamps, wax stamps were a thing. So there's some wax stamps that she put on this cover. And then in it is my grandma, like the pages are so worn and so yellow. There's magazines, but my grandmother's handwriting of so many different recipes are in this, from pie crust, sands. I don't even know what some of these are. Cupcakes, coconut macaroons, lemon pie, pumpkin pie, marshmallow custard, cream pie, birthday butter cake, blue house cake. I don't know what that is. So if anybody knows what that is, let me know. But I just love it. Homemade barbecue sauce, noodles, which my mom said that my aunt was obsessed with, a salmon loaf, which I've never seen my grandmother ever make a salmon loaf, corn pie, beef casserole. Like none of these fancy SEO filled recipe names. They're just good family recipes. Jello icebox cake. I mean, every family from back in the day, right, had a Jello icebox cake. But I have not had a real opportunity to go through and check this out, but I want to save it. So if anybody knows of a way that I can preserve this. Also, my niece, who's 15, has really gotten into cooking and baking. I would love to be able to make multiple copies of this book to preserve the recipes for myself, for my mom. I think it would be a special treat, and then to also be able to pass down to my nieces. So if anybody has a website or a service that they recommend, let me know. I don't know if I'm going to go through and type out all the recipes myself, or if I want to just do the kind where you take pictures and send it in. I don't know. What are my options? But this is so amazing. One thing that I do want to do, I would love to actually work through this cookbook. And I say cookbook because there's hundreds of recipes in it, and make every single one and retest it, because, you know, they're recipes that were written in the 50s and the 60s onward that I can't imagine are written all that great, that probably need to be tweaked a little bit because they are written from my grandmother's heart. She didn't probably need to look at half of these recipes, but we do. So I'd love to test them out and perfect them. But yeah, that is so cool. So that's the first food thing. Just a couple more things. So Aloha, I love Aloha protein bars. I eat one of these every day before my long run on Saturday. And the brand was actually doing a huge ad campaign where it was like a box of the variety of 15, and I think it was like $24. It was something crazy. Don't quote me. It was maybe $24 to $28, but it was a huge discount price. So I will make sure to link. I think I had the code. I'll make sure to link it down below. So if you guys like Aloha as much as I do, definitely check it out. All of their bars, the only thing not crazy about their bars are they're kind of different from one bar to the next with their macros. So it makes it a little harder for consistency. Whereas, you know, like if you get a Quest bar, they're pretty much every bar is the same macros. You know what you're getting. But these can be off by as much as like 50 plus calories from one bar to the next. But this one, it's 22 grams of carbs, 3 added grams of sugar, 14 protein, and then 260 calories. And I like that it's not crazy high protein. I like that it has that 22 grams of carbs, because to me, these settle really, really well before my longer runs, or if I'll like pack them for something and like during workout days and stuff like that. But yeah, big Aloha fan. And there, if anyone's interested, it is plant-based. It is the only plant-based bar, after testing for years, that I have found that I really, really like. They have some that, as far as flavors are concerned, I do like the chocolate coconut. I also like all their peanut butter flavors, and I love their oatmeal raisin and their blueberry. I'm not normally a like fruity person. I'm normally all about like the peanut butter and the chocolate flavors, but their blueberry and their lemon bars are very good. The other thing is I just started drinking these actually this week, and it's the Water Boy electrolytes. Highly like. They're a little salty, but not as salty as like the IQ water brand, or what's the one that I'm talking about? Liquid IV. They're not like that salty. It's kind of like a mixture between a Noon and a Liquid IV, but they mix really well, taste really well, and only calories. So if you're somebody like me who doesn't always like to just drink plain water and you're just looking for a way to flavor your water, this might be an option. But also keep in mind, you guys, we don't need to be drinking electrolytes in every drink that we need. There is, just like everything in this world, such a thing as too much. And so not everybody needs to be dousing 5 servings of electrolytes every single day. In fact, it can have some really big health issues for your heart. So just be aware of that. And then this matcha, this ceremonial blueberry matcha, it's the Spice and Tea Exchange Company. I was gifted this from my mom, and I love mixing this. You can actually taste the blueberry. It doesn't just taste like grass. It has a really clean flavor, and I like to mix this with my Greek yogurt and 1 tablespoon, which is 21 grams of honey every day. And then I actually mix in some blueberries too, so that I need all the textures. I need like a crunch and something to chew with the creaminess. So yeah, highly recommend. I think it's kind of expensive. It's $23, which matcha is just expensive. I probably I wouldn't have bought this for myself just to try it, but now that I've tried it, I'm like, ooh, I really like this. Now I would buy it again. So yeah, it's the ceremonial matcha blueberry, and the brand is the Spice and Tea Exchange, but very, very good. And then last but not least, sugar-free Jell-O pudding. I should specify that. I have been making my iced coffee with 3 grams of sugar-free Jell-O every day. I was doing a banana and making like a banana latte. And then while I was at the store this past weekend, I saw the butterscotch, and it doesn't have to be sugar-free. Again, why add sugar if you don't have to, right? So I'm using the sugar-free, but I put in 3 grams of the butterscotch sugar-free pudding while I blend up my iced coffee. And then I also add 32 grams, which is 1 scoop of most whey protein powders. I use vanilla. It makes the best iced coffee. I've also done it with the coconut cream pudding mix, also delicious. And it also just helps to make it a little bit thicker, like a good espresso frappe texture. But yeah, that's kind of my most recent hack when it comes to my day-to-day food, is adding 3 to 4 grams, not teaspoons, 3 to 4 grams of sugar-free pudding mix of whatever flavor you want into your mix. And it's just kind of to me, it's a better alternative than using like one of the heavy creamers or the flavored creamers, like the Chobani brand or whatever. I feel like there's a little bit more flavor, but you're getting more flavor, but less like calories and stuff. And if you're trying to watch your macros and you're working for specific goals, then that might be helpful for you. That's why I started it, because I did it during my cut. And now that I'm not in my cut, I'm like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there you go, guys. Those are my favorites. That's life. That's catching up. If you have questions, I would love to hear from you. If you have comments, please comment. And I want to hear your thoughts. Do you like this sit down and just catch up, chit chat from time to time? Or are you like, no, I like the other version better? Oh, and I should say, if you like that kind of workout that I did for the assessment workout, 1, if you do it, let me know. 2, I would love to gift you my free 7-day program called Ignite 7 Reset. All of my other workouts are filmed start to finish. There is an actual assessment workout as part of that, even though it's only a 1-week program. You're not obligated to join anything else. It's strictly, I want you to test it out and see if you like my style of training to help you prioritize your fitness to stay consistent, but also really push yourself. So if you are interested in trying Ignite 7, I'll put that link below, or you can just comment Ignite and I'll be happy to personally comment the link back to you. All right, bye.